Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking gear, and more specifically the type of loadout that I carry with me every single ride when we go out. Whether we're just going for a couple hours or whether we're going on a week-long trip, this gear is with me all the time in the trunk on my ATV. So if you're a beginner rider and you're looking for some ideas as to what to carry with you, if you don't know really what you need to carry, this is going to give you a good baseline as to, some ideas as to what you should keep with you. If you're an experienced rider, you might get an idea or two out of this, but you also may see that I'm missing some things. So leave me a comment and let me know if I am missing something. I'm always looking to change up my loadout and improve upon it wherever I can. So we're going to go through everything. We're going to go through from basic safety equipment, communications, recovery, all that kind of stuff, maintenance and tools, and we'll go through what I have and hopefully give you some good ideas. So stick around, we'll get into it. So starting down at the end here, I'm not going to go in any particular order. I'll just work my way down from one end of the table to the other. This is more sort of my safety gear. So you can see I've got a first aid kit here. I've got a tourniquet on the side. ATVing, it can be a dangerous activity. You're out in the bush. If anyone was to get into an accident, you have to have a first aid kit. I would definitely recommend a tourniquet. Get one, they're not expensive. Learn how to use it and just have that as a good piece of safety gear. In the first aid kit here, just a basic first aid loadout, some gauze and bandages and tape and stuff like that. But that'll get us through any sort of, minor injuries that we might encounter out on the trails. Then I have a battery power bank. So this is just, this is an Anchor power bank for charging our phones and devices. If you get stuck in an emergency situation and you need to call out and your phone's dead or your GPS is dead, this will just get you out of a bind like that. So having some sort of power bank is handy. I keep a backup GPS with me. So if you've seen any of my other videos, you see that I use the Umidigi smartphone. That's a ruggedized, waterproof, shockproof smartphone that I use as my GPS device. So that is my main GPS, but I always keep a backup with me. And all of these accessories here that you see all fit into this Maxpedition bag here. So it's fairly compact and there's still lots of room for other stuff in there as well. Back here I have a couple flashlights, so I always like to keep at least a couple flashlights. These are both made by Olight. I'm a huge fan of Olight flashlights. This particular one is the Warrior X, and this is a very long throw. So this is a 2100 lumen light, and you can hopefully see in the distance there. It's a very tight spot. So this is good for spotting at long distance or for signaling, anything like that. And then I also carry another Olight. This is the H2R. This one, the nice thing with it is it has a clip. It has a magnetic base as well, so you can stick it onto something metal to work with. And then it also has a headband here, so you can just stick it into this headband strap and then use it as, there you go, you can see, use it as a headlight or a headlamp. So that makes that very handy. Bottle of Purell just for, obviously sanitizing your hands. I keep a Leatherman with me as well. This is a Leatherman Surge. So this is one of their bigger ones, but lots of good tools on here. If you get into anything, you need to cut anything, use pliers. Obviously it's good to have a full tool set, which I'll get into, but having a Leatherman is a huge, it's something compact and easy to carry, and it can come in invaluable. Back here is a can of bear spray that I keep with me, just in case you get into some sort of encounter with an animal out there. Just something that's good to have in an emergency. And then right here is a battery-powered cordless air compressor. So this was sent to me by a company called Asmax. It was sent to me recently, just over the winter there. And I've always carried an air compressor with me, but I've always carried a plug-in, a 12-volt electric compressor, which I'll show you in a few minutes. But this one is so nice because it's cordless. So this has, I believe it's a 2500 milliamp hour battery inside. The hose here is detachable, so it's nice and compact when you put it back in the bag. And I've used this to fill my ATV tires. I've used it to fill a basketball. I used it to inflate the airbags on my truck and my trailer tires. And it's just been working really good. So this is super convenient. And it also acts as a power bank as well. So in the event that you don't have a power bank like this or this dies, this acts as a power bank as well. So you have on the top here, USB-C and USB-A inputs and outputs there. So you can actually charge your phone from this in the event that your phone dies and you need a power supply. On the top here, it also has, I'll show you there, has a little flashlight on the top, and that has a couple, flashing and signaling lights as well. So if you're using this, say you're using it in your car as well, and you're on the side of the road at night, it has that little indicator light just to give you a little bit added safety there. But this is good up to 160 PSI. And like I said, just hit the power button there and it'll go up to a preset. So you can use your up and down arrows there to preset your air pressure, let it go on its own, and it'll turn off when it's done. So this is gonna be a huge benefit out on the trails, not having to worry about plug it in and get cords out and stuff like that. Moving back to this bag here, this is sort of more my, like emergency supplies, or, I always like to be a little bit prepared in the event you have to spend a night in the woods. Your machine's broken down, or maybe someone's got hurt and you end up having to camp a night or something like that, or an extended stay. I like to be somewhat prepared. So I've got cables, charging cables for my phone, my flashlights. It's a USB-C, a lightning, and the charger for the O-lights there. I've got a couple of light sticks here for signaling or just general area light at night. I've got another small flashlight here that works on AAA batteries. I've got a couple hand warmers, those hot hands that I keep in there. And then working my way around, I've got some wet wipes in that pocket. And then this pouch, this is just an Amazon pouch as well that I got, but it has a bigger pocket here. And then in this side, I've got some paracord. That's probably about a 25 foot length of paracord there. That can be used for a lot of different things. Got a couple different sizes of zip ties. I've got the spare key for my machine in the event that the original gets lost. I've got a life straw, so if you did have to access water or something like that, you can do that straight from any sort of water source, a stream or lake. You can drink straight through that, and that filters it. I've got a couple lighters here. Got a little case with waterproof matches, so at the event you've got to make a fire, I've got that covered. And then in this pocket here are some batteries that I keep for both that GPS unit and AAA's for that small flashlight if I need to replenish those. And then just my documents, trail pass, stuff like that is kept in that pouch there. And working my way across, thermal blanket I keep here. Again, in case you could use this as a drop sheet or to keep yourself warm, or if someone's injured, you have that. And then this is a little pouch of bear bangers and flares. So this is a small kit, so if you're familiar with bear bangers, if you had to scare away a bear or an animal, that's what these 3 cartridges are. And then these 2 cartridges are for signaling. So if you were stranded or trying to signal emergency workers or something like that, there's a couple cartridges that'll shoot up a flare. And that will pretty much wrap it up for this pouch. Moving along over here, I come up to my smartphone. So this is, if you've seen any of my previous videos, I do have a full review video on this. It is a ruggedized smartphone. You can see on the side here, it's waterproof and shockproof. So this can be left on your handlebars. You don't have to worry about the mud, the rain, the water, vibration, anything like that. And it's very inexpensive. The newest model of this is about 200 bucks. I'll put some links to it in the description. But I've been very happy with this device, and it does everything that your regular smartphone does. So it has my Ride Command app, it has Backroads Maps, any app like Cardo, any app that you can put on a smartphone that's in the Google Play Store. This is an Android-based device, so any app can go on here, and I've been really happy with this device. We've been using them for now probably about 3 years or so, and it's been a great device. I keep a good-sized knife on me as well. So this is a K-bar. This can be used for chopping wood. If you had to make a fire, you can actually chop wood with this. You can make kindling or any sort of cutting that you need to do. This is just a great solid knife. So I'd recommend having some sort of knife with you, or cutting tool. So whether that be an axe or hatchet, something like that, but definitely have some sort of cutting tool with you. Moving into this area, we get into some recovery straps. So these are brand new, obviously. I've replaced some older ones. But these are 20-foot toe straps, so 2 20-foot toe straps, and then another 20-foot that has hooks on the end. So if you have to tow a Polaris home or something like that, then you've got your toe straps there that can hook onto whatever you have on the back of your machine. And while I'm talking about recovery, I might as well talk about the tiger tail that I have on the back of my machine as well. So this is my main recovery device now, in addition to obviously the winch on the front. This is what I've been primarily using now. So The tiger tail, I've got videos on this as well. You just unhook it from the back, retract it out, hook it onto your buddy, and then drive away, and it'll pull that person out. This is, I believe it's 12 feet of rope on here, and then when you're done pulling your buddy out, it just self-retracts, and hook it back in and move on with your day. So that has been an awesome device. We all have those on our machines now. Myself, Ronnie, and Al, we've all got the tiger tails. KFI was awesome and sent those out to us, and we've been using them like crazy. So if you're looking for a recovery device, that is something worth checking out. Next here, I've got just a dry bag. So this is, it's mainly meant for keeping things dry, obviously. So you put whatever gear you want in here, and it'll seal up and keep that stuff dry. I've used this a lot for actually transporting water. So if you had a machine that was overheating or something and you needed to wash the rad out, but you're a distance away from a water supply, you can use this, unfold it, go down, scoop up your water, and come back and go through cleaning out your rad or whatever you need to do. But that's the primary use I've been getting for this. So I like keeping one of those with me. Or if you did need to, if it started to rain or something and you wanted to stick some gear in here, it's just a good compact way to keep things dry. In this bag here is more of my sort of maintenance and repair stuff. I do have a saw, so this is a Baco Laplander saw. So this unfolds, it's super lightweight and very sharp. I've used this on up to about 4-inch logs that have been down across the trail, but if you have to clear trail or something, this is super useful, very compact. It's a good option as opposed to a hatchet or something like that. But I've been really happy with this. It's nice and compact and super light. I also have down in here, this is my tire repair kit. So this is just a pouch that I've got for it. But in here I've got some CO2 cartridges. So obviously I have the air compressor, which can, that will air up any tires that I need. But in an emergency, I've also got some CO2 cartridges there, along with the device to use those cartridges. And then your tire repair kit, so the tools. And then down in here, I've got some plugs and patches and stuff like that. The tire cement, so anything that I need tire repair wise, hopefully, unless it's a really major repair, hopefully I've got everything I need in this pouch here. Moving into the rest here. So this is the 12-volt electric compressor that I had been using up until Asmax has just sent me this one. So you can see like the size difference is quite a bit. This is probably a quarter of the size of what I've been carrying, maybe even less than that. So I may still carry this just in the event that we have to, you got a really bad leak and it's constantly leaking and you need to, keep topping it up with air just in case the battery ran out on this. I could resort to something like this. It doesn't take up that much space in my bag here. It's already in the bag, so I may still carry that with me. And then booster cables. So in the event someone's battery dies, booster cables, a very good emergency piece of equipment to carry with you. You could also carry one of those lithium booster packs. That would be a good option as well. But this is sort of fool safe. You don't have to worry about your battery pack being dead. Hook up to another bike and then you're good to go. And then this is just a little pocket emergency kit that I keep in there just with a few random sort of emergency supplies in there, some paracord lighter, candles, stuff like that, some thread, just basic supplies like that. And that will do it for that bag. Moving on to the bag at the back here. This is more like toiletries and just random supplies. So part roll of toilet paper, good to keep with you for obvious reasons. I've got 2 mosquito nets here. So if you're out and you're stopped for a break and it's really buggy, these are invaluable. We've used these quite a bit in the bug season and they have been lifesavers for us and they're super cheap. Got some bug spray here. Full roll of duct tape, that's Gorilla Tape that I keep there. Some wet wipes for cleanup. And then these are water activated, basically paper tablets. So you take this tablet and you just add a few drops of water to it and it expands out to a full size, almost like a washcloth. It's not as thin as a paper towel, but it's not as thick as an actual washcloth. It's sort of in between. But these are a really good solution for keeping, a lot of towels with you in a very compact form. So these are really handy to have as well. Moving on to tools, I don't keep a whole lot in the way of tools, but in this case here, this is a Nanook case, similar to a Pelican case. It's sort of like indestructible, waterproof. You can see it's been beat up pretty good and you know, bounced around in the trunk on my ATV for a few years now. But in here, I keep just some basic hand tools, just a set of hand tools, some screwdrivers. There's a cheaper, like a DeWalt multi-tool here, so just as an extra that I had, but the Leatherman that I carry is far superior to that. A couple common wrenches, and then a small socket set down in the bottom there. So any basic maintenance or repairs that we would need to do on the ATV, this should hopefully get us through. Any more major repairs than that, I'm not really that well versed on those types of major repairs anyway, so I'd probably be up the creek whether I had the tools for it or not. But this is just a good basic set to get you through most general repairs that you might have. So guys, that pretty much wraps up everything that I carry in my trunk box. So all of this stuff, although it may look like a lot laid out here on the table, it all breaks down into that bag, that pouch, this Nanook case, and these two bags here. And all of that easily fits in my trunk, either my Tesseract trunk box, and then I keep this toolbox here in the built-in trunk on the Can-Am there. So there's still lots of space in that box for my lunch bag, for raincoats, anything like that that we need to carry. All my camera gear and stuff like that all still fits in that trunk, even with all this stuff. So it may look like a lot, but this is what I would consider just sort of your bare necessities. One other thing to consider, although it's not a piece of gear that you carry with you, is lighting on your ATV. So although you may not ride a lot at night, I don't ride a lot at night myself, but the headlights that are built in, the stock lights on these machines, are just notoriously not bright. So if you do end up getting stuck out in the bush, you know, past daylight hours, maybe you run into some issues and you're out there longer than you wanted to be, it's good to have some sort of auxiliary lighting on your machine. So I use Novesight lighting on my machine here. I've been super happy with Novesight. This is their 13.5-inch light bar here. It's super bright. I've got a full review on that. These are their halos. You've seen them in my videos as well. But that just, you know, adds a whole level of safety to your night riding as opposed to your regular standard headlights. So in an emergency, even if that's what you're buying them for, just get some pod lights or a light bar for that purpose. It'll make your night riding a whole lot safer and a whole lot better. Speaking about that, Novesight, they've been a big supporter of the channel for the last year or so, and they've stepped up again this year. So they've just sent a couple new bars. So this one is for Al's machine, and this is the same 13.5-inch light bar that I have on mine, but this is also dual LED. So this is clear and amber. So this has on the wiring harness here, has two buttons. So one for your amber and one for your clear. So we're gonna get that mounted on Al's machine. So he's excited about that. And then for Ronnie, he's getting these pod lights. So these are Novesight's 4-inch Rock Series pod lights. And these just look amazing. Like, these have side shooter lights on them. We went with the driving beam. I think the driving beam in the bush and the road combination is gonna be perfect. It'll give you that distance, but it also gives you flood. So Ronnie's gonna get these installed on his machine, and we'll hopefully have them put on for the first ride. But these just look like awesome lights. The finish on them, the fit and finish is just really solid, and I'm really excited to get those put on his machine. So hopefully that's been helpful for you guys. You know, it may look like more than you carry. It may look like less than you carry. Let me know in the comments what you think I'm missing, what you think I shouldn't carry, if I'm just carrying around extra weight here for no reason. Let me know. You know, I like to be prepared, but I don't want to be, overly prepared where you're just carrying way more stuff than you need to. This is just sort of stuff that I think is sort of the baseline that you'd want to carry with you, and to just be prepared in the event you have to, maybe you got to camp a night out in the bush. You want to be able to make a fire. You want to have some supplies with you. You want to have some lighting. That's my reasoning behind most of what I carry here. So let me know what you think. Again, give me some ideas in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.